loves, welcome back to my channel. I hoped you liked my little
That was
challenge.
legitness. Yeah.
That's probably as good as it's gonna get for me because I don't know how to do TikTok or none of that stuff. So today I'm going to be doing a little cut crease moment. I'm pretty excited because I haven't done a cut crease since probably 2016. I kind of have a look in my head that I want to do, but we're just gonna see how this goes because my eyes were not made for cut creases, but they're beautiful and I want to do one today in the name of Valentine's Day. Little cut crease, little romantic, dramatic cut crease. First, I just moisturized my face, or I washed it and then I moisturized right after, and then now my lips are pretty crusty, so I'm using this. I like that it has mint in it because I feel like it kind of naturally just plumps your lips a little bit. For today, I'm just going to use my Fenty primer and my Poreless. And today I'm actually going to be using a foundation brush instead of my beauty blenders because we've been having some relationship issues. So today I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye foundation, and I think this is cute because it has an all over foundation brush and then it also has a concealer brush at the end. So I'm just taking my green color corrector and going over my red spots and just very lightly blending it in. We're going to take the Fenty matchsticks in the color Bamboo, and we're going to go over the green just so that it doesn't mix in with the foundation and doesn't really budge. So just press on a little bit of the matchsticks and then don't blend it in. I really love this IT foundation brush. All of my foundation brushes are from IT. The bristles are really soft, really dense, just really easy to work with. I've been using these instead of the beauty blenders just because they get into my pores and into the corners of my nose. With my Fenty Brow MVP, I'm just going to lay my brows and then start filling them in. Now with my usual ABH Brow Wiz in dark brown, I'm just going to start drawing the bottom line of my eyebrow and start filling them in. Using my Morphe concealer brush and my Huda Beauty concealer in the color Merengue, I believe, I'm just going to start carving out my eyebrow and just lining the underneath of it to really get a sharp line. If I had to give an honest opinion about this concealer, it's not my favorite. It's not self-setting, so it stays kind of a wet texture. And also, I noticed that it really brings out the flakes in my skin. Like, it dries the crap out of my skin. And you'll see later on in this video, I had to actually wipe all this off. Not close to my eyebrow, but what's on my eyelid right now, and start over because it started lifting my skin because it got drying for something that stays wet. I don't know why I did that. This is a really good alternative to a concealer if you're not someone who likes to put concealer on your eyelids. This will help stop the creasing, and it also has a light pigment, so it kind of gives you a really light base for eyeshadows to be more pigmented. I'm just seriously watching this, you guys. Like, putting on this product that I know I'm going to have to wipe off later is kind of weird. I'm going to go in with my Huda Beauty palette and use this light pink color. You can use whatever palettes that you have. These palettes don't have names, so just use what you have. Same with the brushes. I'm not really going into names just because we all have different brushes, so whatever looks similar and can blend the same, just use what you got. I'm going to go in with this dusty pink from the Hank & Henry Sex Talk palette. I'm just going to go right over the transition color I just set, the lighter pink. We're just blending these two colors together to give the look a little more dimension. Don't worry too much about blending because we're essentially just going to have to go over this when we cut the crease. Now I'm just taking the first brush that I used with the lighter pink to kind of just diffuse the edges on the top. I'm not too worried about underneath that color just because, like I said, we're gonna have to cover it with concealer. For the next step, you just want to take a smaller blending brush and get any type of coral hue shadow that you have and just blend that right on top of the dusty pink that we just used. Taking a rounder and dense brush, we're just going to pat the burgundy color into the crease. Now I'm just going to diffuse the edge with the dusty pink that I used before this with the brush that I used for that color. For the next step, I'm just taking my first brush without any added color just to diffuse the edges and smoke it out. Using my Maybelline concealer and a new concealer brush that's a little more firm and flat, I'm going to now cut the crease. That is just a little trick I like to do since my eyes are really hooded. I have to start way before or way above where my eye naturally creases. So the easiest way for me to do that is just to dab a little bit of concealer towards the base of my eyelash line and then look up, because then I know that none of my concealer will budge in that area, I guess, if that makes sense. When cutting the crease, you just want to follow the natural shape of your eye, and kind of like a winged liner, that's where you would start or end the tail of the cut crease. Now I'm just going to take a liner brush, a really fine brush, and take the darker color that I used just to go right above where the concealer I just cut the crease with to give the actual cut crease more of a depth to it. This is kind of my secret of how to fix or clean up if your concealer just went a little bit too far up. You can always go back and just go over the concealer with that darker color, and then it gives you kind of a new base. This is my hack for that. I was also just going back in with the dusty pink color just to diffuse the burgundy. I'm using my Stila Magnificent Metals glitter again just to liquefy it. I'm using this primer it came with and a little touch of setting spray. This ended up not working out how I wanted it to. It ended up just being too creasy for me, but it ended up being a good base for the glitter shadow that I ended up using later on. If you have like a glitter liner, that might work better than this did. But I did really like the color and how it first went on and applied. But yeah, this was not a good texture to work with. Now I'm just applying my Lorac glitter eyeshadow. I'm going to use this to give the inside of the cut crease a little more depth, and I also really like how it just ties the whole color scheme together. If you don't have an additional glitter to put, it's not really necessary just because the eyeliner goes over this step anyways, but I just feel like it's a small detail that elevates the look. Now I'm just taking my Tarteist clay paint liner with the liner brush that it came with, and I'm just going to go over the baseline. So pretty much what I was just explaining, it's going to go over most of the glitter, but that's okay. Like I said, I kind of ombreed it up, so it works. You want to do your wing just like you naturally would, bringing it up into the cut crease and where the tail of that is. I cut it off before the end of it just so that it has that sharp tail shape. I'm not sure how to explain that, but I went over the beige part onto the burgundy just so it kind of uniforms at the end, if that makes sense. It's all going to be one wing. I'm going to be extra after this step and use my Hank & Henry Blickety Black pen just to go over that and make it more pigmented. I'm using the Tarteist Black Eyelash Adhesive, and I'm also using the Style Cash from Lash Barbs Cosmetics for my eyelashes. They're super full and fluffy, and these are my go-to with the bold winged eyeliner. Now I'm just gonna use my eyeliner to make the lashes look like they're more natural, and I am also using mascara to adhere my natural lashes to the eyelash extensions. Now I'm just taking my eyeliner pen again to just go over where eyeshadow had touched the adhesive, and also just to melt the eyeliner and the eyelashes together. Taking Soft and Gentle from MAC, and this is my favorite highlighter, and I'm just going to pop this into the inner corners of my eyes and also onto the brow bone just to give more of a highlight. Now I'm just taking some foundation and my beauty blender to clean up where I still have eyeshadow after I did my eyeliner. And I'm just touching up my foundation and building it up a little more. I usually do my foundation after I do my eyeshadow, but I noticed that this formula doesn't really have a lot of fallout. So I just wanted to start with my foundation and finish off with my contour later on. I'm just going to take my concealer brush just to get closer to the wing. I just want to clean it up and make it look a little sharper. I ended up going back to the beauty blender to apply my concealer just because it's easier to use on top of the foundation without moving the product underneath it. So I'm just putting this in the places that I want to pop out. So my nose, my forehead, and my chin are always things that I put my highlighter on. Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing with my lips right here, but I'm just being super extra with my contour today, I guess. So I usually don't put the lines right there where you see underneath my cheekbones where I'm blending it out right now. I'm just doing this to have a more dramatic contour, I guess, because once I put the bronzer there or my deep contour, it being lighter at my jawbones will just give my face more of a heart shape. Now using my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, I'm just going to go over all the places I just put the concealer and just set my face with this. I'm going to go back in with my deep contour afterwards. I'm avoiding the places where my deep contour would go just so that it sticks a little better to my face. I'm going to go in with my Lorac contour palette. For my deep contour, I'm going to use the lightest shade to start off with, kind of as a transition shade. I just want to make sure I'm being really light-handed doing this just because it's a lighter shade and I can always build the product up. And I also just want to give it an airbrush look, so just apply it really lightly and only a little bit at a time. Now I'm just going to go in with the medium shade and go over all the places I just went over with the light, just to give it a deeper contour. Dimension really is key, so that's why it's important to layer the colors and not just to go in with a darker one right away, but lead up to that one. Now I'm just taking the lighter colors in the palette and mixing them, and I'm just going to diffuse the lines from my deep contour to my highlight areas. So that's going to be around the cheekbone right there underneath where I had the concealer, I'm just gonna try and soften that because I'm not really into the sharp line underneath the cheekbone. So I'm just taking everything and blending it together. So using my new palette that I got from BoxyCharm, I'm using the lighter pink for the blush. I really like this because it's matte. I want to be brave enough and try the darker pink, but I just want to have the eyeshadow really be the main color to pop. But the darker pink would actually look really good with the color scheme that I'm using. I'm just not so into the glitter. Now you just want to take a flat but still fluffy brush and go in with that dusty pink color, and we're just going to smoke out the bottom. I'm going to go in with an even flatter brush, and I'm going to go in with the burgundy color and just put that as close as I can to the waterline right underneath the eyeliner. Now I'm just taking the same mascara and I'm just going to get my bottom lashes and touch up any of the top lashes that might have gotten any eyeshadow on them. So now I'm just starting to notice that the Stila is starting to crease, so I'm going to take this Funny Girl shade from my Tartelette in Bloom palette and I'm just going to pack the glitter right on top of the Stila. Now it's time to apply some lip color, and I'm just using my Hank & Henry lipstick. This mechanism is so cool, but just look at this. That is so pretty. Like, I didn't even want to swatch it because I was scared of moving the glitter, but that is so beautiful. Now I'm just using the lip liner half of this. It's just a nude color from the Tarte Lip Architect. I'm just going to take my concealer brush and I'm just going to clean up around the edges. I was looking at a mirror beneath the camera lens, so sorry you can't see this step, but right after this I just set my face with my setting spray, and that is it. Here's the final look. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can see what I have coming out next.